Hi, I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. We are continuing on with our series of the top 5 financial news stories of 2017. We've reached the halfway mark. If you haven't had a chance to check out number 5 about semiconductors or number 4 about the medical marijuana industry in Canada, I would implore you, please go back and check out those other videos and stay with me now as we cover topic number 3, a topic that I think we've covered fairly extensively throughout the course of the year, a topic that gets quite a bit of mainstream coverage and is very, very polarizing as far as the media goes and people's opinions on it. It seems to be you're either 100% on board or you 100% believe this is a bubble and it's doom and gloom talk as far as you're concerned, with the assumption being that anybody that's involved in this is just out there gambling their money away on something that is entirely speculative, and the implementation of it is basically irrelevant because there is no implementation of it. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. Like I was saying, this is number 3 for the year in review 2017. The number 3 news story. I know you're wondering, how could this only be number 3? Well, it's because I personally and my crack staff here at Wall Street Breakdown feel like the number 1 and 2 topics are a lot more directly correlated with people's overall portfolios, and this is a speculative story, despite the fact that maybe the most money anybody has made this year would be in these investments. So let's take a look at it. The number 3 story, of course, is going to be cryptocurrencies. Now, cryptocurrencies in their infancy back in 2009, when we seen the advent of the number 1 cryptocurrency still on the market today, Bitcoin, was meant to be a non-fiat currency. That basically means non-government controlled currency system. It was going to be decentralized completely from any type of monetary system where human hands potentially muddy the waters. This was in response to things like quantitative easing and the financial crisis that was also created by a bunch of humans that were greedy back in 2008. Now, I don't necessarily believe the idealistic view of the people creating cryptocurrency was wrong, but I definitely believe as of 2017, it's lost its way. And while people seem to be making a very, very good amount of money invested in it, and I use the word investing very loosely, we'll take a look at these cross-border payment systems and what they're doing in 2017 and how that might be relevant. Relevant, again, I use in a very loose way, to your portfolio if you're invested in any of this kind of stuff. Much like the medical marijuana conversation that we had, this should be in that 5% speculative range of your portfolio. You need to remain well diversified. The price swings in this, while they've been extravagant to the upside throughout 2017, and that's great for anybody who was involved and made themselves a good chunk of money, I would warn you that the downswing could be as fast, if not faster, and could take all of your gains off the table and ultimately blow up your account. So, okay, so cryptocurrency is basically based off of blockchain technology. I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of how all this works. That information is more than readily available. We're going to look back at 2017. So let's take a look at the 5 big cryptocurrencies that are trading on the marketplace. Obviously, Bitcoin is our number 1 contender. Bitcoin, the undisputed champ, as a matter of fact. Forget about contendership. Bitcoin is definitely the one that if anything's going to end up lasting into the future, it's going to be our friends over at Bitcoin. They started the year trading at under $1,000 per Bitcoin. Now, over the year, Bitcoin has found a gain of about 1,200% to end the year off around $14,500. If you were in early, you are making out like a bandit, and good for you. But again, I don't recommend this as any type of investment beyond speculative. Now, Bitcoin has a market share of about $220 billion. That is about the same level as major credit card companies, and in fact, Bitcoin now is worth more than PayPal. That's unbelievable. Bitcoin hit over $19,000 a couple of weeks ago, but has had a fairly significant pullback as these markets are far too erratic to, I don't want to say time because no one can really time the markets, but these markets are far too up and down. The ebbs and flows of the speculative money involved in this is a lot more correlated to gambling than it is to investing. But let's take a look. Other than Bitcoin, you have Bitcoin Cash with about a $40 billion market capitalization. You've got Ethereum. They started the year at $0, find themselves trading at about 700. That's an 8,700% gain on the year with a market cap of about $68 billion. Litecoin, again, started trading the year very zero, or next to nothing in the actual nominal penny area. And they find themselves at a $40 billion market cap, up 5,000%. That, you know, Charlie Lee, the founder of Litecoin, decided to step out of that for moral reasons. You know, when it was up at its all-time high, he gave away some of his money to the Litecoin Foundation. You know, like no actual transaction records of how much he gave or any of that is available. It's, you know, it's always weird when a guy starts a non-fiat currency and swears up and down that it's because that this is going to be the future of things, and then cashes out and claims some sort of moralistic standing, but changed all his non-fiat currency for what ostensibly is fiat currency. No? You don't agree? Doesn't matter. Carrying on, Ripple, the other big five of the cryptocurrency, started the year at $0. It finds itself at $2.18, but a 33,000% gain year over year and an $84 billion market capitalization. Have we not covered this enough? Bitcoin. Okay, it started off as what should be a very understandable type of a currency structure. I understand what they were doing. We understand still what the point is. But as far as an investment vehicle goes, I wouldn't agree with investment vehicle or that any of these are going to take off and become an actual currency system that a country or that people as a whole end up taking on. Now, we've had a little bit of legitimacy added into at the end of the year here. The CBOE, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, have added in futures contracts where you can trade Bitcoin futures. But there's also a shorting position involved, which might be some of the reason why we've seen some drastic pullbacks in prices, as well as a lot of price increases. You got to imagine that most of the money that's invested in Bitcoin is retail money. I mean, if you go on any kind of social media platform, you are going to see people touting Bitcoin Bitcoin and all its contemporaries, as if it's the future of basically everything all rolled into one. I really don't see it. Call me crazy. I was never invested in it. I wouldn't be invested in any of the type of cryptocurrencies that are out there. I may be wrong in this. We may have to come back to this video in a couple of years and correct ourselves and say, Cody, you know what? You absolutely missed the boat. But the fact is I don't believe I've missed the boat at all. So let's take a look at what some of these cryptocurrencies are doing. The cryptocurrency bubble, as I like to consider it, is filled with erratic price fluctuations. There's no doubt about it. There is no way that you can consider an investment something that's up thousands of percent in a year and has drastic pullbacks, 30, 40% intraday, as anything other than a bubble. That's not even speculative, to be honest with you. That's something that is straight up gambling. You're at the roulette wheel now, hoping that it lands on red as opposed to black or zero. And I mean, God bless you. I hope it works out for you, but that doesn't sound like a smart way to invest your money if I was you. There's no ability to actually exchange Bitcoin for any type of goods and services, is there? I mean, when you think about the goods and service exchange with the price fluctuation that goes on, how am I supposed to trade you a Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency for a car or a house or a piece of gum, knowing that one of the two of us 20 minutes from now is going to feel like we've been taken advantage of? The price changes so drastically that what this currency is supposed to be about is being about taking out government control, controlling inflation, but ultimately trading this currency for goods and services without the currency having a actual steady rate of currency value. How can you do that? I mean, it's just not possible. I don't see it in the future. I don't see it now. And I think a lot of people, if you think of it that way, how could you quantify this as being anything other than gambling at this point? I understand it's relatively new. People are just getting involved. A lot of retail investors see this on the news and stuff, so they are drastically excited. And they want to get in on what is greed. I mean, the price goes up so much. Everybody wants to make themselves a millionaire overnight without having to do all the work. And, you know, a 20-year investing timeline, that's very, very boring. This is a lot more exciting, but exciting usually means very, very scary. There's no free lunches out there. Don't kid yourself. If you saw anything else that changed prices like this, imagine your mortgage rate changed prices like this. Imagine that your income changed prices like this. The interest rate, the prices of cookies when you go to the store fluctuated this greatly. Would you feel comfortable with that? No, you wouldn't. But because this is something you can get invested in, and a lot of these cryptocurrencies you can get invested in for very, very nominal amounts of money, people feel like they can make a mint off this without having to do any of the hard work. I guess if that's where you want to risk your hard-earned money, you make your choices here. That's why this has ended up at number 3, because there's a lot of people out there making this choice. There's constant new entries into this marketplace. And what a marketplace was supposed to be originally was supposed to be an individual cryptocurrency that was going to have a specific value at the end of it when all the cryptocurrency was finished being mined. But now, as you have the advent of new cryptocurrencies being added into the market consistently, there are more cryptocurrency than there is real currency out there. So how can you tell me that it's going to have a specific value at the end of the day when you constantly have new currency added in? Because you just make up a new cryptocurrency and you're doing exactly what you guys were saying quantitative easing was doing, was printing money that shouldn't exist, adding it into the marketplace, and then saying, no, that's the market now. That's the way the market is. That's what's happening with this. There's hundreds of cryptocurrencies being traded out there with currency being added to the market. How can you say that any of this stuff is going to be tangible in the long run without 99% of it, if not more, ultimately finding itself having zero value? There's very little regulation. We've seen it with Coinbase, the major exchange for the cryptocurrencies. We know that none of these currencies have any type of regulation. There's no transparency. There's been tons of conversation, let's say, about potential price fixing or people, drumming up prices or pulling back prices because of, social media posts that they've made. Because there's a lot of these cryptocurrency founders, whatever you want to call them. How can you be a founder of just some random nonsense? But apparently you can be. These guys go out and they do things that ends up changing the prices because they've got fanboys. They got a lot of people out there that tout their praises from the rooftops, and they're able to manipulate prices somewhat. As much as you want to believe that they can't, they definitely can. A non-regulated marketplace is a scary place to put your money. I'm not going to put my money with a bookie. I'm not going to put my money with cryptocurrency either. You got to think in the future, the induction of government-regulated digital currency is probably going to snuff out a lot, if not all of these. And to be honest with you, government-regulated digital currency has been in the works for the United States since 2013. It's also being worked on by Canada, and we've heard from Russia that sometime in early 2018, digital currency from Russia is going to be released into the marketplace. And we know there's a lot of countries out there that are already highly regulating the exchanges of cryptocurrency. It's only a matter of time before these governments take back the control and say, I don't care what a bunch of kids in their basements think about the way the monetary system's supposed to work. It's not going to be the way it works, because you need actual human hands involved, much like you need human hands involved in things like quantitative easing. I know people don't like the actual idea of creating money to put it into the marketplace, but unfortunately, too big to fail for the companies that had quantitative easing or had bailout money involved. That needed to take place. There were tens and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs that were on the line. And countries need to sometime add more currency into the monetary system just to help balance things out properly. And you see now, as the quantitative easing is long gone, and the United States is planning 3 probably interest rate hikes in 2018, and Canada's probably going to follow suit with a couple interest rate hikes of their own, much like the couple we had in 2017. You need to have human hands constantly moving the chess pieces around so that we can properly keep things like inflation at the rate it's supposed to be at, and make sure there's enough currency in the market so that banks can loan to businesses and people, so that mortgages can get made and that businesses can get built and expand and hire people. And this just isn't the same kind of implementable type of currency that's going to be able to do that. Now, the unsavory investing or greed that leads a market heralded on fairness and a lack of human intervention seems to be gone. I mean, the whole idea to begin with was that this was going to be the new realm of things. Unfortunately, now that all these retail traders have got their hands on basically really cheap investments that they see going for multiple 100% gains over and over again, we're just looking at a giant casino. And because it gets all this media attention, and because people have made a lot of money, and there's a lot of people out there now convincing other people who are completely naive to this to get involved as the new wave of how you can become an overnight millionaire, you're going to have a bunch of people who've probably worked really hard 20, 30 years of their life, saved up a bunch of money, had a pension plan and well-hedged investments, and are now taking money out of those things to try to get involved in what would make them a lot of easy money, make their life easier in a much quicker time period. But that's just not the way that investing works. I think you, as the probably smart, diligent investor, you already know that. 5% allocation into speculative money, fine. If that's the way you want to do it, that's fine. But you go take a look at any Forex market, which is probably the most comparable to this. I mean, you could consider it some sort of underground Forex market. The fluctuation of the major G10 currency, they don't fluctuate like this. They fluctuate on such a small scale because people can then say, okay, I know how much this is going to be worth roughly and how much this is going to be worth roughly, and we can build an economy based off of that. And other economies can have parity to our economy so that everything works in accordance with a global marketplace. This is a made-up marketplace, one that I would warn everyone to not be involved, but in 2017, it ended up being a very big story, and a story that I have had to cover time and time again. I don't know what to tell you. Going forward into 2018, you could find yourself out on your butt and your account going to bust, and all of the hype and confetti and fun and social media attention could turn to doom and gloom, and we could see people, like I was saying, that have had very good investments for a very long period of time, having invested in this and have their accounts totally destroyed and their futures potentially put on hold for many more years, where they're going to have to be working because they chased the fast dollar. Fast dollar chasing is not the way to do things. Greed, the worst way you could possibly invest. That's the way it is. That's the number 3 story of 2017. Let's hope in 2018 we don't have to cover cryptocurrencies as much, but I have a feeling we'll probably be covering a bust in the cryptocurrency market, probably a lot sooner than later, and if not a bust, a pullback that will be very, very drastic. But I don't have a crystal ball. Potentially I could be 100% wrong. We're going to have to find out in 2018. But with the markets as good as they are in the much more solidified spaces where companies that actually do real products, build real things, that trade products and services and employ thousands and thousands of people, do excellent work around the world, and their share price continues to go up, their dividends go up, their earnings per share continue to increase, and our global market space continues to get tighter and tighter, and we have the ability to invest everywhere with the information that we want. Please don't chase the fast money, but it's your choice. I know anybody who's a smart investor is not going to be allocating a whole lot of money to this, but you can't teach everybody. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. That was the number 3 financial news story in all of 2017, cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I'm getting tired of talking about it, but while you're here on the video, whether you disagree or agree, please leave a like for the video. Stay tuned for number 2 and number 1 that'll be coming tomorrow. That'll be Sunday, December 31st. Please go ahead, subscribe, notification bell, leave us some comments, let us know what you think. We love hearing from you guys, whether you agree or disagree. Let us know why I'm completely wrong about cryptocurrency, or why maybe I opened a few eyes for some people who've maybe been blinded by the hype and haven't actually been seeing the actual light. We love hearing from you in the comment section. Feel free to let us know, and have yourself an outstanding rest of your day.